We're here.
boards.
We're in.
What?
What?
It's in.
What?
It's happening. We're good.
Hi! Welcome back, everybody.
This is the longest break we've taken
I was
since
gonna
we
say,
started. We have not taken 2
welcome,
weeks off since we started.
And we've clearly spent the time tuning up.
Yeah. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're here. We're good. You can hear us, hopefully. Welcome back. This is the long-awaited episode 17 of Arc 3 of Better Than Heroes. I'm Rachel Weeks, and I play Klik, the level 9 Kreen fighter.
I'm Andrew Ovredahl, and I play Flute, a.K.A. the Windrider, a human bard warlock.
Hi, I'm Jordan Dahl, and I play the Moonboy, a level 9 Moonboy.
Yes. And yes, and I'm Aaron Urist. Oh boy.
Hanging the rust out. Hanging the rust out.
I'm Aaron Urist, and I play K.A.I, the Artificer. I didn't.
And that's Harlan Kelly.
Oh,
There are
shit.
Dan-
I'm Harlan Kelly.
Wow.
I play everybody else. God damn.
Wow.
Let's go. Like riding a bike where you just fall off and it hurts really bad.
Like getting pulled off your bike by your dogs.
God damn.
Okay, I don't care that we're running late. I'm gonna tell a story. I don't care. I'm gonna tell a story real quick. One of my favorite images in my mind, which is terrible because Andrew's one of my good friends, one of my best friends since I moved to Denver. And he told me the story once where he has 2 very large huskies and he was riding with them pulling him on his bike, and he had a harness attached where the huskies were pulling him, and they saw something, another dog or something, and they pulled him over the handlebars of his bike as they took off. And I love that so much, but the image is the funniest one.
I'm glad it brings you happiness. I'm glad it brings you happiness.
You brought it up.
We should get you a little sleigh for them. Like, get them like a wheeled sled for going down the streets of Colorado.
Yeah, we should.
Just let them run.
I think we've
You
already
can,
proved that we shouldn't.
Yeah, perhaps not.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, D&D. Here we go.
In just a few minutes, we're going to play some 5e Spelljammer-inspired Dungeons & Dragons. Our show is live soundtracked by the wonderful Jason Wardell, who you can hear in the background, and it is live directed by Case Drury of Tiger Moon Productions. And it is brought to you by our patrons. Yeah, there you go. Do you want me to pause for you or no?
Look, I do the second part.
I have too many death things to worry about tonight. It's no.
It is brought to you by our patrons and our wonderful subscribers. If you love the show and you want to see us continue to improve and grow and expand, please consider supporting the show financially in whatever way you can manage. We understand if that is not a possibility right now. It's the holidays, it's a tough time financially. But you can support the show in a lot of other ways. You can follow.
There's backstory there.
Shut up.
We don't have time to get into it.
Okay,
No.
look, there was a man named Ebenezer Scrooge, and on Christmas Eve,
Rachel, if you need money for presents, we can help you out.
Okay, I just bought a lot of flights.
for us, spoiler,
You
presents.
guys are all coming to my mom's house.
Yes.
But you can support the show in a lot of ways. You can get merch from the show. You can tell your friends and family about the show. That is a huge way that you can support. And if you haven't already, please follow the channel. That is very helpful as well. We appreciate whatever support you can give. Now it is almost time to play D&D, but first, for last week's recap.
Oh God.
Or
Previously. That's true. Previously on Better Than Heroes, with a battle for Jadurian at a precipice, the crew entered the Kreen High Council's inner sanctum, where the council lounged on tall spires over a seemingly bottomless pit. After some light shit-talking, the fight was quick to erupt. The 3 council members attacked, along with the big and tall-sized spirit abomination who leapt onto the crew. Behind them, a blue giant, one of the Arcane, stood brooding over the clutch of souls, the mysterious artifact that seemed to hold some power over the council. The High Elder lashed out at Klik with unnatural speed as the 2 of them kick-ass psychic bug battle. The husky spirit warrior crushed K.A.I with a devastating blow, but was then flung out into the depths of the abyss below by a blast from K.A.I.'s repulsion shield. Moonboy was able to slow the enemy with powerful moon juju as Flute peppered the council with spells. Klik struck down the High Elder in a mighty critical blow with heavy backstory implications. The Arcane seemed unbothered by the destruction of the spirit warrior or by the council's loss of ground as he flung powerful blasts of ice across the battlefield, bringing both K.A.I and Moonboy to the verge of frozen death. K.A.I was able to return from the brink thanks to a long stone death ward amulet, leaving the Arcane fallen with a smoldering hole through his head. Only a handful of enemies remain, but the fight is not over. Where am I? Oh no, I lost my place. The fight is not over. Is Klik the Tohr-Kreen queen now? Will slow death turn on us now or later? And what the hell is a clutch of souls? Find out right now on Better Than Heroes.
I had to delete that tweet.
Aaron, is this what it is?
I had to delete the tweet.
Okay, here we go. You are in this big, so we find the crew all up at this point, all conscious, with two of our members, Moonboy and K.A.I, glass, staff, and the Arcane utilized against them. There is this huge open room with nothing but abyss besides the 6 pillars that one side of the room from the other entrance for the small platform. The small platform on the other side of the room. Inside of it is this clutch of souls, this like glowing away. One of the Elder Queen, one of the council members, is positioned on this side of the room, clutch of souls. On the southern side of the room, Luck, this smaller, weaker, teenaged green queen, the ally of the queen member that is here with another one of the council members, this queen right next to him, and Flute is on that side of the room with Luck, with this queen, and Klik is about halfway, a little bit more to the south, but on one of the pillars. And so here we go. We're picking it up here in initiative. Last little bit of this fight. My notes have it correct. It is Klik's turn.
That was my turn.
And then it's you and Klik are kind of like right next to each other. If I fuck this up, it just gets Klik next to
It's fine. It's a huge weight off me. I just spent the past 2 weeks thinking I was up.
Well, you're about to.
Okay, so I just spent some time. Yes, I just spent some time replenishing my psionic talent dice, so I'm going to spend. Do I have to spend it? No, I haven't used my psi-powered leap today. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a psionic powered leap, and she is going to throw herself twice her movement speed, so she's an 80-foot flying speed at this screen. I suppose she should try and land on the other side if that is a possibility. There's not a ton. But can I like tackle
side
it?
of the map that is closest to me.
On the northern side.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're using a flying speed to jump.
This is truly like the combination of the Kreen abilities and the Psi-Knight abilities just really flavor this. I love it so much. So yeah, you can actually, with this like burst of like purplish blue psionic energy, just launch yourself over the dark abyss that you were around. And you can even land on the northern side of him, the opposite side. So there is a little triangle of you all around the screen if you want to.
I think that has got to be the move. And then I will smack this guy.
Smack that guy! Smack him!
So this is with the big end of the blade. It's
Absolutely, the crescent big blade of this Githka, which he has one as well. He is also
That
holding
is-
a Githka.
15 to hit, unfortunately.
Okay, that misses. So as like you throw yourself across and you land well, but he sees your jump and he parries it with his own Githka as the two crescent sides of your blade just meet, and he stops it in midair. And he looks at you and he goes, "The throne is open." And he says to you in Greek, "The throne is open, and you all will not survive."
I believe it. I have one more attack, so I have my extra attack, and that one is going to be better. That's an 17 to hit.
Cool, yeah, that hits. So as the two crescents meet up at the top of the air, they lock into each other, but you flip your blade around and take the pointy end of your blade and stick it into him.
That is 10 slashing damage.
Okay.
And I am going to spend a side die to use I can do this, right? Yeah, Psionic Strike, and I'm going to deal additional force damage. That's another 7
Okay.
damage. And
So as your like the blade hits into him, there's just another like burst
Yes.
from your mind as it just like shatters a piece of his carapace off.
I believe I have already tried to push somebody today with telekinetic thrust, so I cannot try to push him, but that's what I can do. That's my turn.
That's gonna bring up
Okay. This is the move that I've been thinking about for 2 weeks. Moonboy.
I'm very, very excited.
Moonboy is going to pivot into the spot where Klik is. He's going to then move into the spot right next to Klik. Sorry, Klik, I have to move you momentarily. He's then going to cast Healing Word at level 4 on K.A.I.
Huge.
Does anything happen? Any counter spells? Anything like that?
Oh no, the
That
counterspell
guy's
boy
dead.
is dead.
Yeah, we got
Great.
him.
I've never been happier.
I've never counterspelled a healing spell before.
Yeah, I hope you felt bad.
No, I felt proud.
I felt powerful. Okay, so I will cast Healing Word. Rat-tat-tat-tat. You are going to regain 13 hit points.
Oh, thank you.
24 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Sorry, if that's some additional. My spellcasting modifier is 4, so you're going to get 4, 5, 6, 17 hit points back. I am going to myself, because of the thingy of the chalice that I have upon my person, I am going to regain. Or no, you know what?
Thingy
This is
of the
also going into K.A.I, I'm gonna say. So K.A.I, take that 17 and add. Sorry, y'all. This should all be on the same page. Frankly.
Druids are difficult. I understand. It's just hard
Let's
to be
use my
Plus 4,
aspect of the
5,
thing.
6, so 17, 23. You get 23 hit points back
All right.
as this moonbeam falls upon you. And as Moonboy goes to light down on the ground, all of the kind of moony points in his body seem to kind of shoot out of him just a little bit, and they form into this, what you would know as a constellation, the shape of almost like a wolf. And then there's a bright flash of light. And when that light clears, standing there before you is a moonish, dire wolf.
Sick.
A silver-coated wolf with great antlers coming out of its head. And most importantly, 57 hit points.
Yeah. Some temporary hit points. Yeah.
It's a 57 point buck.
But this is the first time that we have seen
37.
Moonboy transform into an actual creature. Right?
No, he became a krat.
He was
ever so briefly.
This is a big
Talk
one.
about that.
Sorry,
And believe
I don't know why I didn't count that, but it feels like that didn't count. Right?
Yeah, it didn't have
And believe
antlers.
me, I tried to figure out a way to solve this fight by turning into a krat. But I think the only way to do it was with this majestic wolf, moon wolf, and turns to the final Kreen and says,
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it's noted to all the players. I mean, like, you very intentionally changed into a crap before, but this is the first time we've seen it, like, in combat, where it's, like, a moment of a moment of, like, what is
Low
the
hit
word?
pointedness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a moment of strategy. I mean, not even a moment of strategy.
this
A moment of
is
desperation.
a
I don't want
utility wild shape for sure.
Look,
which is
Yeah,
honestly
He's power
You let the
gaming.
moon flow through you.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
exactly. Let the
Um,
moon in, y'all.
Cool. Yeah. So you are this wolf creature right now. Nice, Jordan. That deeply changes the power balance of this battle.
Yeah.
Should've
I
gone
also
the
have
other way.
pack tactics now. I don't know if that helps you guys, but I know it helps me.
It does help you. It does not help them.
Bummer.
So
End
it
turn.
is now going to be.
Wait a minute.
Flute's
Wait a
turn.
minute. Don't I have inspiration? No.
I don't think it's
What
I
would that
never
do
let
for you?
inspiration go from session to session. So you might have bardic
Ah,
inspiration,
okay.
but you don't have
Okay. Far out.
TM
Carry on.
inspiration. Yeah. So Flute, it is your turn.
Cool.
So from the back of the
Boy,
pack,
Flute.
from the other, like all of this is happening. All of this like celestial transformation is happening 100 feet away from you more, as you are in the back of this room, like right by the door. And you've kited this whole fight. You've stayed in the back. You're not hurt at all, but you do see this Kreen bearing down on Gluck right in front of you. This like weaker Kreen who's been disabled by some sort of effect from the earlier fight as well. And so there's a very weak Kreen being towered over by a very powerful
That
Kreen right in
that
front
Kreen's
of
actually prone. Remember, it fell prone when it I Ray of Sickness
Right.
did, and it jumped over and it fell prone. in
I
front of
didn't
us.
remember it, but I'm glad you did. So it is
Still
It is
towering.
fallen over, but it's still you see it's towering in its own mind and its eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a horizontal tower.
Totally.
It's a ranch style
Yeah.
tower.
I will run up and I'm going to make some attacks on this guy. With my magical rapier. Does a 25 hit?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. That one will also hit, and then I will bonus action two-handed weapon with my scimitar. Does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes, sure does.
All right. This Kreen is going to take. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, then I got a terrible one. It's going to take 21 points of magical piercing damage.
Oh boy.
Nice.
And then it's going to take 8 points of regular slashing damage.
Oh boy. So that's 29 altogether.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's my go.
Okay, so 29 points altogether from the closest one. It looks like you mess it the hell up with this. So I would love for you to give a little description. It's still holding on, but it is at the very like tail end of being able to hold on. So I'd love for you to give a little flavor description of how you just fuck this dude up.
Give us a little
Yeah, I think I
flavor.
run up. I realize that Gluck and I have kind of been left back here as I watch Klik just leap off, and I see like moonfire kind of flashing on the far side of the room. And I know Gluck is even weaker than I am, which is saying something. So I think I just run over and I just am stabbing this Kreen in any of its weak points that I can think of, just kind of stabbing between sections and its like exoskeleton stuff. Also trying to attack it in a way so that if it gets up, I'd rather it attacks me than Gluck.
I'm glad we got that flavor, because at first I was imagining like swashbuckling, and now after the description it sort of has like nerd finally snaps energy.
Yep.
Take that, Coach Barnes!
And it's me flying to find my PE teacher from high school. Just punch him in the face. So it is just like fully succeeding all workers. Like everyone that's got their constant all Aaron.
All orifices. All right.
All.
Well, that's
All.
canon.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not gonna get into it.
I mean,
I'm just
Windrider's
saying.
not
Can I get a
checking, but if you say so.
List of Kreen orifices, please.
I have one
Cloaca.
cloaca, and that's
First
it.
cloaca, second cloaca.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bench roll,
Primary,
screaming orify,
auxiliary,
and a whistling
cloaca.
hole, as we
Auxiliary.
With that, it's going
Got
to
the
be
innie and they got the outie.
Kreen, who is next to Moonboy, K.A.I, and Klik's turn. And is going to look at Moonboy and is going to stab as hard.
He does have
no,
disadvantage
I'm sorry.
against anyone except for me.
Yeah. I deeply misspoke because the only person who has 1 hit point is K.A.I. And so
not
it is
anymore.
going
No,
to look
K.A.I
at
got
K.A.I.
Healed.
He doesn't know
Well.
that.
It is going to
does
stab
have a
as
hole
hard
in
as
his
it
head.
can. It's going to stab as hard as it can at K.A.I.
All right.
point being.
So, could you tell me your AC, please?
Well, that depends on how well he does, and what spells I cast.
Does it?
It does. My AC is 22.
Why is it 22?
I can make it higher.
We
if you
broke
want.
him. Them.
You were
All
expecting
right, both of its
heroes,
attacks
Solid.
miss. Both of its attacks miss
Ugh.
because neither of them crest 20.
The kids.
But it is going to
Yeah.
risk opportunity attacks to move
Oh,
here, which is right next to the body of the Arcane that is lying dead.
wow.
On the
Okay.
Sure, I'll hit it.
Scary.
So
I will also
Moonboy,
try to-
Klik, and K.A.I all get opportunity attacks.
Boy. Okay. Well. Okay. I get advantage on it because of attack tactics.
Yep, exactly.
No, I definitely hit.
Yeah. So its AC is 16. So if you hit, let me know the overall damage that you do. But it is going to. It takes 2 big strikes at K.A.I. It like walks up to K.A.I and jabs its Githka at it, ignoring you, Klik. That it just like blocked the attacks of, and it looks for
That's
the
an
weaker
18.
person
That's an
here.
18 to hit.
And it's gonna after missing, it's gonna move through the crowd, and you hit Moonboy with your melee attack.
Okay, now you should know that
Fast.
as a big wolf, when I hit with my bite, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Yes. Also, was he like
It got a
flanked or
17. Does
anything?
that succeed?
That succeeds.
What's up? And
Was
cool,
he-
wonderful.
Was he
Aaron?
flanked by us when we attack him?
Yes,
We
you can
have
attack with
advantage on
advantage.
these?
Yep.
Thank you.
6 damage.
10 damage for me.
Cool.
I got
It
a
is
16 to
risking all
hit.
of this. That
Does
hits
that
as
hit?
well.
Harlan?
Yes, it does hit.
It does.
Yep.
Stick. Oh my god. Rolled triple ones.
Go.
Hate to see it.
So he takes 9 points of force damage and 1 point of. I think I was doing lightning damage.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So it just like takes so much damage as it walks through all of y'all, and like all of you just turn as it like misses both of its attacks into Kai. Yeah, this like astral wolf just like chomps on it, and both of you all hit down onto it, and it still is like leaves a bleeding trail as it walks across this platform next to the clutch of souls that is this like glowing egg next to you all, and walks over to the body of the Arcane. That is the end of its turn. And then it's going to be the other queen's turn, who is next to Gluck, and he is going to grab Gluck by the shoulders, and he is going to do a contested strength throw as he jumps over the edge and looks at you, Flute, and says, "If I can't have the throne, no one can." And
All right, but there are other people here. It's not just like you and
I-
a teenager.
Can I
Talk to him.
Can I plead for a dexterity saving
Tell him
throw to
that's
grab
crazy.
Gluck's ankle?
Oh, absolutely not. No way that you can take a reaction to this. And
Harlan plays bets on a character dying. Just so you are all watching on Twitch, Harlan plays bets on a character.
What?
Harlan's trying to make money
You would
betting
get
on a
thrown
system.
out
I'm just saying.
of
I'm just
the
saying.
okay,
Baseball Hall of Fame.
Andrew, you can roll the strength or dex save for Gluck
Gluck?
here, and he has a higher dex than he has a strength, so he has a +2 strength, and we're making a contested strength check
Okay.
here.
All right, come on, Gluck. My dice are cold. Not good. Not good. All right, Gluck. Let's do it. Oh no. I rolled a 7, so 9.
He got a 15. You see the Kreen grab Gluck by the shoulders, lift him up, and jump off the edge. And he says, "I will be with the souls." And he he like throws himself off the edge here. And you, Flute specifically, make eye contact with Gluck as he looks around and tries to swipe his weapon against him, and he misses as the Elder Kreen dodges the hit and picks him up by his armpits, and they both just jump off of the side, and they immediately drop X amount of feet. You don't know, as they just descend
Question
into
marks.
the blackness off of the side.
Do I
we
hear
see
them
them?
land? I guess we would have heard the
my turn.
big one land. The husky boy.
Big and
I
tall.
mean, yeah. I mean, it is very far down. So, Flute, you just like see like Gluck's terrified face as one of the council members just like picks him up and jumps off of the edge here, and he's just like, "No!" And he's like reaching for the edge, but this elder like kind of corrupted council member is just holding on to him and pulling him off the edge with his eyes wide, all of his eyes wide. Do you have any reactions or anything you want to do here? If not,
No, just kidding.
this Kreen is going to fade into the abyss of the darkness.
I wanted to reach out and try to grab him. Yeah, I think I reach
Yeah,
out and uselessly, and I'm like, Gluck. And
Actually, I will say, if you are willing to spend your reaction on this, I will give you a DC 20 dexterity saving throw.
Oh, great. Oh, of course I will. I don't need that reaction. Yeah, I'll lunge forward and... are you kidding? I critically failed. I rolled a 1.
Oh!
I leap.
I know. I think with that,
No.
Gluck's hand makes contact with yours, and he feels himself holding on for a second, and you aren't strong enough to hold on.
Oh, no.
And like it's the cartoon moment of like the hands holding on, and your hand slips as he is pulled down into the darkness.
Even worse.
Yikes.
And that is going
Yeah,
to
fall
bring
on my
up.
knees there on
Klik
the-
loses
on the
it.
edge.
We're seeing red now. I mean, I assume she can see that from there. Jesus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see it straight. It's like straight across this empty room, and all of these things are happening so fast, and you just see like this fight happen, and Flute just like wail on this dude, and then he just between losing the he had literally had 1 hit point left, and between losing a fight that he knew he was going to lose, he just takes something down to hurt you all, and he just like grabs him and jumps off the edge, and it is Gluck's turn, and you just hear him scream. It is now Klik's turn.
That's so sad. What a sad way to spend a turn.
Oh my god.
Wait, it's Klik's
I'm
turn?
like, yeah.
Does moves get skipped?
Oh yeah,
Kai hasn't had a
you,
turn.
No, actually, you're right. You go between the Kreen that jumped off and Gluck's scream. So
Oh, he hasn't
before
screamed yet?
Before Gluck's scream, you get to go, and you just see.
Can I see them?
But they dropped falling speed, so they dropped like at least at least 100 feet. So you can't see them
100
past
feet?
like 15. I mean, if you have a thing, we can math it out for sure.
I've got a
But,
thing. I'm flying.
just for
I have
the
a fly speed of 60 right now. If I double
can't even
moved,
get
I could
there.
get 120. And if I
Wow.
teleported with the nano displacement projector, I could get another 30 feet.
Whoa.
So,
Okay, well, shout
don't
out
know.
to KMW and all the people who ever had a conversation about fall speed, because I need to just triple check this real quick. So in a single round,
So, yeah,
if
now
you
we're
fall,
I mean, I guess
regular gravity-
talking about
I don't really
trigonometry
know if
now.
I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get him or not. But I don't think I would get to know that before I decide whether to go after him.
I mean,
Did I even
it
see
is
that
blackness. Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
absolutely can see it happen. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. Give me like 3 seconds. Vamp for a second while I find.
I also
fall
think
speed.
a scream would be pretty damn loud in that
And
cavern.
I screamed when he got
Green
grabbed. I was like,
screen?
To be fair, it hasn't
Green
screamed on
scream?
his turn yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a tussle. He grasped. I mean, I have
critical
no
one.
way to
What
get
a
over there.
Fucking, these fucking dice.
Okay, I'm
Whenever
calling
you-
it.
Bojo.
Aaron, do you want to know how far they fell in just like, and just to look at the camera for a second, the way I'm calling this is the way I've always called it, which I'm just was double checking my math, is that falling is very, very fast because each person's turn in D&D, like the reason combat turns happen is because it's like simulating things happening very very fast. So each character's turn is about 6 seconds. So with this enemy's turn, they use their 6 seconds to pick this person up and jump off the edge, and they just fall speed initiates immediately. So I'm gonna shave off a tiny portion because they had to spend their action first doing the thing and then jumping off. So I'm gonna call it, which is I would usually call 500 feet. If you just like start Wile E. Coyote style, if you just start like your turn above the air and then you fall 500 feet. But I'm gonna call this. I'm just gonna half it, so I'm gonna call it 250 feet. So they are
Per round?
they
Oh,
are
okay.
currently in this after the Elder Kreen's turn. After that person's turn, he lift him up and he jumped off the edge. They are 200 feet down because they just fall. So they are 200 feet down right now. So now with that, with Kai's ability
Could I
to
fall
do
that
math,
far and then fly over? I don't think I can get them. Not if they're falling that fast. Doesn't make.
Yeah, you have to go.
It's not possible.
Aren't you heavier? Don't you fall at a faster rate?
well,
No,
I have no idea.
Well, hold
This is
on.
all unknown.
Kai, tell me
they're
what you
also
want to
80
do.
feet across.
Tell me what you want to do.
I don't think Kai knows the math.
Yeah.
I think
Tell
I'm
me what
just.
you wanna
I think
do. Yeah.
when they go over the side, it seems like maybe we're okay on this side. Although I don't know what that guy's gonna do with the arcane. Kai's going to step off the edge.
Let himself fall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you letting yourself fall for a whole turn? Because I just want to say again, like I need to look a little bit at the camera right now just to be fair. I imagined on this other person's turn an action, and then being off the side and then falling.
Right.
I'm not going to share with you the math of that just because I know that you are a very good power gamer.
I don't think I get to know that.
But you can either like you can do whatever you want with this information, but you can just step off the edge and let yourself fall. You don't know how far the bottom is. You don't know how time or space to navigate these things are. I do know how deep this cavern is, and yeah.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm falling, and I'm using my flight to try to angle myself in their direction so that I can meet up with there somewhere down in the blackness.
Okay, but I want to stipulate. I'm sorry. This is like very crunchy, but these are the moments where crunch matters. It's like Klik jumping across the boat. Where are you letting yourself fall for the whole turn? Or are you letting yourself fall and then as your action casting fly?
I already have fly up.
Okay.
So I guess it would be using some of my movement to try to get across.
Well, I mean, this is legitimately, I'm sorry, this is like hella nerd crunchy bullshit, and I apologize to
I guess I don't know what the
show. Like,
you know, the crunchy answer that you're looking for is, because I don't know the rules for what.
Right. No. So no, I know exactly, because I fucked up because I did not know that you were running fly. And with fly, you can't let yourself fall. You have to unconcentrate on the spell. Mm-hmm. So you could use your action to double your movement speed, or you could cancel your fly spell and let yourself fall down the cavern.
In that case, let me look to see if I even can do that.
Yeah, I know. This is like, again, this is annoying stuff, but it really, really matters.
All right. So. Here. Okay. No, that makes sense. That kind of answer. I'm going to let myself fall, and then once I feel like I've maybe caught up to them a little bit to try to do something, I'm going to cast fly again.
Okay, cool. So you're breaking concentration on fly, letting yourself fall. Okay, then I'm going to instead, like, because your action is letting yourself, because your action is casting fly again, could you...
This is so stupid. I should just kill that guy. Okay, it's already done.
Could you roll a perception check real quick?
Oh, God.
Because this is you
I'm so bad at
stepping
this.
over the edge. No, this is amazing. The one of the reasons I'm mapping this out is because it's so amazing. Is K.A.I is stepping over the edge and letting go of his spell. And so he just steps over the edge where he hovers there for a second, and then he just plummets down into the darkness. And your perception check is to see if you can at all catch any intuition, like any perception, like if you can notice at all that where Gluck and this fallen queen are.
I rolled a 15 plus 2, 17.
All right, cool. So you fall 500 feet as you just step out over the edge. And you can use your action as long as you are cool with not moving at all after this. You can use your action to be 500 feet down, and you notice them, and you are past them.
Okay. Yeah.
You are lower than them because they started falling, and then you just like, and then you cast fly again, and then in your next turn you can jet toward them.
Okay. So I would. Yeah. Well. Yeah. My turn's over. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm so glad the floor wasn't within 500 feet.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think when K.A.I falls, Klik makes whatever sound a Kreen makes when it screams. I think it's like a painful hissing, like cricket sound. Because at this point, what we have seen is Gluck being wrenched into the darkness, and then K.A.I falling into darkness afterward.
Jesus.
So
I think I would have turned and I would have said something like, "I'm going."
Yeah. No, I mean, clearly,
it's clearly a pool dive.
Yeah,
Right.
like I know what we're doing, but anyway, she's Is it my turn? I'm gonna try and kill that guy.
It is, in fact, because we had to stop here, and Aaron, I appreciate you humoring me on this because it's important. I promise. Sure. That your turn happened, and as soon as you dropped off the edge, you hear, like, you and Klik, you especially don't hear the Gluck scream, just because we made a big deal out of the initiative order, and Gluck scream happening in the initiative order. You don't hear the Gluck scream until after K.A.I is just steps over and whoops, like falls down into the darkness. And it's like, have you ever watched YouTube videos of people like free diving? It's the most disconcerting. I saw Jordan not immediately because we live on the same YouTube channels. It's horrifying, right? To just see people be like, all right, bye, and then
pebble diving.
Yeah, it's terrifying. And so K.A.I just disappears in this darkness as well. And then in the darkness where Gluck has disappeared, Tohr-Kreen has disappeared, and K.A.I has disappeared, you just hear Gluck scream, and it is your turn.
Yeah. So Klik is... Klik
What's
is...
his name?
No, Klik. Me. It's my name. Klik is completely red, full warrior, no thinking mode, and she just turns her head slowly like the predator and jumps over the egg, lands on the side of this Kreen here, and rolls an attack roll, and I have already rolled it, and she critted the shit out of it. So she is going to just baseball swing with the hook end of her, or the flat end of her Githka, and slice it across the side of this Kreen, and hopefully we roll some kind of damage. Jesus Christ. Terrible.
Oh,
Terrible.
The cat's got it.
Terrible.
Doesn't something crazy happen when you roll
Does
a
that happen
crit?
every time when I roll a crit, though? I thought it was
Pretty
just
sure.
once per day. When you attack, what it was.
I don't know,
Pretty sure
but I'm
it's
going
every
to count
time.
it.
In addition to
it's every time you roll a
suffering...
crit.
No, it's every time. Yeah, it's every time. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So it's 8 plus 6 is 14 slashing damage on the regular damage, and then I roll 3d8 plus another 3, 4, 9. Christ. 9 psychic damage on the creature, and they must make a wisdom saving throw.
I'll tell you, the 14 didn't do it, but the 9 did.
Hey!
And you see, and I will say specifically, you see the Kreen stepping over the body of the Arcane and pulling up its staff that it cast these spells from. You saw it like blow this magic out of this very powerful looking staff. It's like a very ornately crafted, a very fine, like magical looking staff, and the Kreen has the staff in its hands, and it is rearing up to it looks like it's about to smash it like a hammer in front of you. And as it's like reaching up in the air, you just gut it in front of you. You slice it in half, and as your Githka doesn't cut it in half, but you just like see its guts falling out, and the psionic energy pushes the top half of its body off of the lower half, and it just falls, and the staff clinks on the ground unharmed, as it looks like it was trying to smash the staff in front of you. And that Kreen is dead. You have defeated that council
Alright.
member with your turn. Incredible.
saved-
Truly incredible.
Okay, so we have a bonus action, I guess.
I mean, I will say there are no enemies that you can see in your field of view right now. There is only the Clutch of Souls. As the
Yeah, I'm
other
just-
Kreen jumped off the edge with Gluck.
I'm just trying to decide if Klik would fucking dive into this thing with a psionic leap, but she can't fly up, so it's like I don't think she can.
I mean, that's an important moment right there. Just like teetering at the
Yeah.
edge, you are literally choosing not to help in a way that's
Yeah.
like rough. for-
Where I think, so Klik just turns toward the abyss and kind of sways on the edge and is like actively doing the math. And knowing that she has spent so much of her psionic energy, knowing that she has just jumped and that she really has no way to get back up, I think she just crumples to her knees on the edge of the rock cliff.
Yeah, but she has faith in K.A.I in this moment, right? Like
I mean,
you saw K.A.I go over her, and you know that you can't do something. So instead of making the rash decision, you're
she's waiting, but there's a ton of fear.
all right, cool.
But yeah,
Moonboy,
I don't
you're
think
up.
she's worried about this egg. Like the egg is awful.
Moonboy, you're up. Flute, you're up next. So there are currently no enemies on the board right now.
Jeez. Okay, are we still in combat?
Yes, because in the darkness below you, K.A.I and Gluck and one of the Kreen elders are plummeting to the ground. And you can't see that, but you have seen them all go over the edge. So,
Okay.
yeah.
The wolf boy runs to the edge where they have recently plummeted in and starts barking. Down
What
into
is
the
it, boy?
darkness. And then he, I
Gluck in the
believe
well?
I believe I can drop my shift back to your normal
Yep.
form as a bonus action. Damn it. It's gotta be a bonus action. All I can do is bark, you guys.
Right?
Been there.
The
Curse
Moonboy
of the
kind
Druid.
paces next to the edge of it, and he, after he realizes that barking doesn't work, he comes over to this Kreen and pees on it.
Nice.
Excellent. I've played the longest character I ever played as like a player was a Druid, and it is truly the curse of the Druid to be in animal form because you only have limited stuff you can do.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: I could drop it with a bonus action, but I can't. Like my only heal is a bonus action right now, so.
Right. Right, but
There's
you
not
want
really
and you
much
want
I
those
can
hit
do.
points. I get it.
And
I get it.
I think other people can do more than the Moonboy can do right now.
It's truly a brutal part of D&D when like not doing something epic is the right move. Flute, it is your turn. Speaking of not doing something epic.
Yeah, Flute can't do anything either. I think I'm kind of on my knees on the edge, looking down into this void. I certainly can't fly. There's no math for me to compute, so I'm
Is there a
just sort
distance
of.
for your bardic inspiration?
I'm out of bardic inspiration. I
Okay,
tossed it
never
around willy nilly. Hopefully, Goat is using it right now to take the dinger somewhere safe.
Live.
Yeah, I'm just checking my spells again.
roll.
I don't think there's anything I could do. I guess I would have seen K.A.I fall in, so I'm just sort of like on my knees, grabbing the edge of this, like scanning the darkness, looking for anything. I'll hold my action so that if for some magical occurrence K.A.I comes up, I can help him if he comes up by me. So we'll say I'm right here on the edge. And that darkness is not there. The shape that's drawn, it's not there. So yeah, I'm just looking down, scanning the dark.
Cool. All right. Andrew, would you be willing to do another strength or dexterity saving throw? You should probably do dexterity because it has a +2 instead of a +1 for Gluck as he's trying to, as these two forms are just falling through the darkness. Gluck is trying to push himself off, trying to get rid of this hold that the Elder Kreen has on him, as literally an elder is pulling him to the ground. It is the past version of the Kreen world is just tugging this young Kreen to the ground, and we are making contested checks here.
Can I see them from where I'm? Or they're
Not at
down-
all. No,
down-
no, you are making a surrogate roll so that I don't
Right.
roll
No, I
against
know. I
myself.
just meant
I have made the roll
for-
for the NPC.
Yeah, I just
You
meant
cannot see
for
them at all.
Flute.
Yeah.
That will be a dirty 20. Come on, Gluck. Bug fight.
Gluck, 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 Gluck.
Gluck, Gluck, Gluck. Fans want Gluck. Fans want
I'm
Gluck.
not, I'm not going to tell you the answer to this because it is K.A.I.'s turn.
Oh boy.
And afterwards, it is Gluck's turn as he is trying to free himself from this. But it is K.A.I.'s turn. You have jumped down into this darkness. You know that you are ahead of them. You can sense them. This kind of like blue energy, this like little spider web of your arcane senses are kind of like crackling throughout this space. And you know that you are farther down than them. You fell farther down because you just jumped down. You are 250 feet away from them currently. What would you like to do?
250 feet.
Hear distant, encouraging
Can I
barking.
see them?
No, unless you can
Probably
see
not.
in darkness, you cannot.
I don't think I
What
can
is your
see
vision
in
like?
total darkness. I have dark vision, but not like...
Does dark vision let you see in darkness?
In magical darkness?
Listen,
No, it's not magical.
darkness, and also not for like... It lets you see in darkness as though it was dim light, but I don't think it's out to 250 feet. So I'm gonna fly up towards
Yeah,
them.
it's only 60 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm flying towards them.
Yeah. If you get 120 feet from them, you can see them.
Okay. 120 feet. Yeah, I guess I can't.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. You can't see them. I'm sorry. I had to go through a couple of rules here. Let me say, you are 250 feet away from them. You can sense that because of I don't care anything that you want to say. But you can't see them currently.
It's dark. I can't
for
see 'em.
mechanical
Makes
senses.
sense.
If you double your movement speed, if you are allowing yourself to fly, if you are casting the spell fly, which I believe you did at the end of your turn,
Yes. Last time.
then you can double your movement speed to get 120 feet closer to them. But they are still falling at the same rate. So
Right.
this is me being nice, but like, if you don't want to cast fly and you want to let yourself fall too with them, you can.
No,
but
if I'm below them, I'm trying to come up and meet them in the middle. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly up 60 feet, and I'm going to hold a spell until I can see them. Can I do that?
Are you gonna be able to see them? It doesn't seem like it.
well,
Eventually,
this
they'll
is-
get
well,
close enough.
I will say this only because I know that K.A.I. is like a scientific person, right? They know this. Like, they're going to fall 500 feet a turn.
Right.
And if you double your movement speed, you are within, and you're 250 feet away, you're only carving it down by 420 feet. So you can't quite see them at this point. God, I'm getting too technical here.
Okay,
but-
all right. Here's what I'm going to do. This is what I think makes the most sense, given the circumstance. The holding a spell thing doesn't make sense. I'm going to fly up my speed, and I'm going to hold my action to try to grab Gluck when I can see Gluck, so that he doesn't just like fall past me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Are you dropping your fly speed at all, or are you maintaining the concentration of the spell fly?
I need to keep fly. If I don't, we're all going to die down here.
All right. I legitimately need a moment to do math in my head.
Yep. Oh my god. You're just trying to catch him. That's
I'm
what
not
you
just
can
trying to.
do.
I'm trying to grab him. He's falling. I'm going
Yeah.
up. And I'm trying to grab him and fly up with him.
Yeah. And he's falling down, presumably on top of you.
Right. I don't want
the
him
stress
to
of
like
this makes
hit me.
sense.
I want to grab hold of him while he falls past me and fly up with him. That's what I want to happen. Don't know if that's what's going to happen.
Okay. It is currently not your turn
Right.
anymore after you did this dive down into the darkness looking for Gluck. It is Andrew. Can I have you roll a Constitution saving throw for something that will determine
Christ.
a thing for Gluck?
You got it. Oh boy. Critical fail. 1.
Cool.
Oh,
Oh my god.
All right.
These
it is
dice.
You are Kai. You are just hurtling down into the darkness. You can't find Gluck. You know they dropped over the edge. You
No,
know
I'm
you're
going
ahead of
up.
them. You're looking. Yeah. I know. You were like moving around looking for Gluck, and you cannot find him currently. Excuse me. You cannot currently find Gluck, as you are searching around to try and find in this darkness as you are plummeting down, and you know they are plummeting down at the bottom. And it is going to bring up Klik and Moonboy and Flute. Like, you all are up at the top here. I know we are still in initiative order for things that you all can't really affect, but you all are up at the top here. So kind of shout out if you have an action that you think matters.
I think it's all happening too far away. I think we just need to wait to see how
Yeah.
this resolves.
Yeah, we're
with
just
them.
waiting.
Yeah, I can't even get like across the room. I mean, I guess I'll yell. I don't want to go out of turn. So if Klik or
No. Do it. Because, like, you all, unless you have something,
Yeah.
like, powerfully mechanic, you all should just take the turn of, like, you all being up in here in the stillness.
yeah, I'll kind of yell. I'll see Moonboy, who's I believe still the wolf, and Klik, and I guess I'll kind of yell over to Klik like, "Is the jar of souls over there?" Is it the jar of souls or clutch of souls? The general
Clutch
called
of
it the
souls.
jar of souls.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. It's the
That was
Clutch of
just me.
Souls.
That was just me being
Yeah.
an idiot.
I think Klik is busy like searching the darkness with her mind. Actually, the problem is the range on that is 30 feet, pretty good, so she can't hear shit. But she's she's digging around and trying to feel if she can like grab onto any consciousness in the dark.
Sure. Roll a perception check. You have disadvantage, and
Yeah,
it's
sure.
a DC 20.
Disadvantage, huh? Well, that one was a 4, so I won't hit it.
Yeah. You send out a sound, like kind of like burst, to try and like hear, and you just hear nothing but emptiness. And anyone else want to do anything on their turn?
Bark.
This moon wolf barks, and you hear the echo back to you. And we're gonna cut a break here, and we're gonna see what
Oh,
happens.
fuck you. God damn it.
So let's take a quick
That's good
fiver
TV right
where
there.
we drink, pee, and we'll see you on the other side. So thanks, y'all. See you in a second. falling in the blackness. You're falling in the abyss of nothing. And you just hear the air whistling past you. You can't find Gluck, and you can't find anyone at this point. What do you do?
I am flying upwards, hoping to catch a glimpse of them. I guess I'm looking around, trying to see a glimpse of them in the darkness.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. Five.
There's nothing but emptiness. There's nothing but blackness all around you. You can see the pillars, you can see the glow above you, and you just kind of like hear Gluck's yelling below you at this point as you move up.
Oh, he's below
seems
me
like
now?
I mean, in this turn, you've missed him in the darkness.
Oh, great. How far
and-
below me? Can I see them?
Oh,
have a
No, wait,
flashlight
we
or
just did this
something?
whole thing. I can't
absolutely.
see them.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can just kind of hear the yell below you. Would you like to
I'm
do it
gonna
later?
I'm gonna follow that direction. Can I tell how far? Do I have any idea how far away the sound might be?
With that perception check roll, it's at least 100 feet. You're unsure. I will say that you're unsure. What would
Well,
you like to do?
I will
you get another
dash
turn
towards
here.
the sound.
You just plummet, kind
That's
of
all I
like
can
using your
do.
fly mechanic to just like fly downwards.
I'll go 120 feet towards the sound.
Cool. With that, you hear a thump, and the screaming stops, and you're still just kind of like floating down here in the darkness. And we are out of initiative. So, if you want to bring everybody back.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. At a distance.
I didn't take
I had
a
a
light
distance.
spell. I don't have any light cantrips.
Alone,
Yeah.
K.A.I rises from the darkness.
Truly, yeah. I mean, Kai, you can do whatever you want, but we are out of initiative. You can spend time flying around in the darkness and go down
I'm going to. I mean, it sounds like they hit the ground.
Yep.
I'm going to keep going down.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Moonboy's
I'm gonna
going
do
to
that.
turn
I'm
back
gonna do
into
that
a
scene in
boy.
a second, but there's a significant pause, right, where you are flying down to try and find the bottom here. So we are out of initiative, and everyone can kind of like do whatever scene they want up top here, as it seems like there are no more combatants.
Yeah,
You know that there's a
Moonboy is
war
gonna-
raging outside, but like you all are out here, and we'll do the scene of Kai finding the bottom of in a second. But Flute, Klik, and Moonboy, if you want to do anything here, you can absolutely. Can.
Yeah, I
Dropping
want to
animal
check the
form,
door
healing
behind
myself.
me that we came through and shut. Does it open? If so, can I open it very cautiously and look back into the previous room?
Say it one more time.
The door behind us, the door that we came through to come in here. Can I try to like open it and like look in? Because there was a bunch more of those Kreen Gundams coming toward the front of the temple, and I guess I'm just curious if they're in the room behind us.
Yeah, roll a perception check as you open the door.
I'm giving up on my dice, my real dice, my good dice. 15.
The room is full of a soft green haze that feels poisonous to you.
The room behind us?
Yep.
Oh, the room that we already came through. Soft green haze that feels poisonous.
Good.
And I don't see the Kreen that we left behind or anything.
You do see two unconscious bodies lying on the ground. That are the
Okay.
two Kreen that you left
I'll
behind.
close
Ram.
the door quickly, and I will yell across this chasm. There's a poison cloud or something in the room behind us.
The Moonboy is going to drop this wolf form, and I don't think you really notice him do it Klik, but before you know it, the Moonboy is behind you again, and he goes, Klik, I think whatever this thing does, it better do it pretty quick. And he points to the clutch of souls.
Ooh.
And he gets to healing himself.
Case, if you are able to throw up the art of the Clutch of Souls, Jordan did some specific art for that this week. It would be wonderful to show it as you see this, like, from your position specifically, especially after this moment of just like casualness, like what you have not felt in a while. You get to take a breath, but you see this like glowing seed in front of you that it seems to be on this organic platform that has grown up and around it. It looks somewhere between an egg and a avocado seed. It has a couple of holes on each side, and there is a clear aura to it. There's like clear color coming out of it. There's a swirling inside of it past the barrier on each side. And this is the Clutch of Souls. This thing that is, you don't know exactly how, but somehow has been a thing that the council has, it has been the piece that the council has bargained for to have this Clutch of Souls, which either means it's some sort of poisonous object or a powerful object, which you're unsure of. Just like sitting on this dais in front of you that Moonboy is pointing toward.
Moonboy is just spamming a healing word on himself right now.
Yeah, sure.
Can we take a short rest?
You can do it as much as you can. You don't have an hour because you don't know what's happening outside of the doors, but you can take at least 3 turns. Yeah.
Klik will turn to the Clutch of Souls and she's sort of disgusted with it. It's like, this is the thing that you sold everything for. This is what my lineage is worth. But I think she's drawn to it and will, I don't know, thoroughly examine it. I guess I think she would reach out with some psionic energy and just try to just probe a little bit.
Wonderful. Roll with some saving throw.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a terrible roll. 7.
You see, Klik, you specifically, when you look at it and you make eye contact with it, you feel the glow of it hum. And when you reach out with it, with your psionic energy, you feel a voice speak back to you. It is 6 voices. It is a comforting voice. It is it is a coach's speech that makes you win the game. It is a dad talking to you when everybody else has gone to sleep. It is the most comforting and inspiring voice. And you don't feel yourself make this decision, but you reach out and touch it with your bare hands. And we're going to cut to that in a second.
Thank you for adding
here.
bare hands, Harlan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a thing that will never die between you and me, Andrew.
Actually, I'm wearing gloves.
I love it.
From that scene, we're going to cut over to Moonboy. You see Klik just absorbed in the ambient light of this and reach out and touch it. What you don't need to roll for is something that is not characteristic of her. What would you like to do?
I would like to bless her.
Sure.
I would like to pray to the moon and say, "Help her in this moment to the moon." And I will take a break from healing myself to cast bless on me, Klik, and
That's it. That's the only close enough.
if there's anything
Would you roll that d4 to see if that changes things?
From my, what did I roll, a 7?
Yeah.
10.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So we're gonna cut over Flute. You see Klik reach out and touch the Clutch of Souls. You see Moonboy cast a spell to try to affect it, and she's still looking very absorbed by this egg. What are you doing from where you are? which is on the full
Yeah,
other side of the room.
I can't get over there. I can't make even running long jumps to even try to get over there. So I think I'm just kind of helplessly like looking around. Kai hasn't come back up. There's a cloud of poison behind us. I don't understand what's happening on the other side
Does
of the
it-
room.
Does it look like my spell worked?
It did work. It didn't do
It
enough.
just didn't help.
Yeah, you see the moon, like this like white, glowing aura form around her, but she is still absorbed by this egg.
Can I
Yeah, I
grab
can't
her?
even. I don't even think I. Is she touching the egg right now?
Yes. Moonboy, you asked if you could grab her.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can.
Yeah.
Roll wisdom saving throw.
I do so with advantage.
I don't think I can make a jump.
Devilish.
So running, long jump. Do you know the rules offhand, Harlan?
It's like 3 something divided. I'm happy to just give you. I'm happy to just give you checks from pillar to pillar. You have
That's
to
so
do,
scary.
You have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 checks. So
I just rolled a natural 1 2 times with my advantage. to wisdom
Oh
saving.
my god.
That's insane. That
Abby,
is
try it.
fucking insane.
that is, I think it's incredible. As you grab Klik's body to try and pull her off, this moon form that you have felt many a times, or you like switching this like druidic, like starry form, you change to an animal, you feel it just like take over you as you place your hands upon her. And it feels like a deep breath. It feels like you go into this other consciousness that you do when you change into starry form. And we'll get to what happens to you in a second, as you both are just like lit up by this egg here.
What is
my
the?
God.
What is she holding? What is the clutch of souls?
Touching the
It's
egg.
touching the clutch of souls, which is
Can
the
you
art that.
can you
yeah.
describe the
We don't
clutch
have
of
the
souls
art
to
in
me?
the roll.
It's like Alien. I mean, Andrew, I know you're a fan of Alien. It is like that alien egg, only it is more of a seed, and there are like holes in it that light seems to be coming out of. It is on this organic dais that seems to have grown out of the ground, and is holding this diamond, this like rounded diamond shape seed that has a bunch of like Swiss cheese like holes in it that are light is glowing out of, and you can just see swirls inside.
Can you see it in Twitch, Andrew? Do you know what Twitch is, Andrew?
I'm not
No,
in
I
Twitch
didn't-
because I like to
didn't put
give
it up
my
on
attention to the
Twitch.
game. I like to concentrate on the game.
You
I'm
gotta
sorry,
keep
I
it open
fucked
in the
up.
background so we get the viewers, Andrew.
No, usually I put it in Roll20 and I just forgot the name. I'm sorry.
Okay, this is insanely risky. Can I run over here and running long jump to try to make it onto that pillar?
Oh my god, don't.
It's insanely,
Yeah, absolutely.
an
All you have to do- all you have
insanely
to do
bad,
is-
an
All you have to do is
insanely bad idea.
athletics check. All you have to do is an athletics check. You just jump over.
Not acrobatics for like a flip.
You can do an acrobatics check, sure. I'll be nice. You would absolutely do an acrobatics check.
Oh my god, I hate this.
It's such a
Just,
bad
just
idea.
jump to the closest one, right?
But I know I can't go back into the room behind me. Kai hasn't come back up.
I mean,
and
you
just
don't
saw-
know. There is a poisonous gas cloud. I'm not saying you can't go through it. I'm just
No,
saying
I know that. But I could.
Yeah.
Something is clearly like bad going
That would
way.
be less of a bad idea than this.
Then what's happening right now? This is so bad.
I love when Andrew makes bad decisions.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Something's going on with you. You've changed.
We're gonna
doing
TPK to an egg.
I got a 21 acrobatics to make it to that post.
You leap with all your strength and you like you are impressed by yourself when you land on this tiny, less than 5 foot by 5
Oh my
foot like
God.
pillar, and you're just teetering on the edge there, and you make
I
it
gotta
to one of
windmill
them.
my arms, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to use my last 3rd level spell slot because I just put myself in range to cast Shatter on the inside of that egg. Depending on what it's made out of, it might. I don't know. You know what it's made out of. I don't know what it's made out
Sure,
of.
I
but,
do.
And on, let's see. It creature made of inorganic materials such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on the saving throw. So I don't know if you want to make a saving throw or how it works. I can just roll the damage.
Sure.
Okay.
Roll the damage.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god. I rolled 2 1s in that damage. 7.
When I was healing myself, it was insane, the ones.
7 thunder damage on the egg.
Tonight, I'm Aaron Urist.
Yeah.
The thunder damage. The thunder damage happens, and it does not seem to shake them from it, and it does not seem to take extra damage as it is an organic material. It is an organic material.
And I guess, apologies, friends, you also take 3 d8 thunder damage.
You take
have
7?
You have to make a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, a whopping 7, but if you make the Constitution saving throw, you take half.
What's the
Okay,
Constitution saving throw?
I rolled a 25 on the Constitution saving throw,
yeah, you
so
take
I take
3.
3.
What do we need to beat?
16.
All right, well, I rolled an 11. I'm going to give myself the extra d6 as a reaction from my...
You're blessed.
It is only 3
Oh, I
hit
am
points, too,
blessed.
if you don't want to use it.
That's right, I don't. Let's see. Great, another 1 to add to the pile. Wonderful. Fuck it. What? It was 7 HP?
Yes.
But wait, am I moved? Do I get shoved off of the cliff if I don't?
Nope, you just take the
All right,
thunder
I
damage.
take the 7 HP damage.
Cool. You are one step closer to them, Flute.
And
We're
I'm
gonna cut over
trapped
K.A.I
now.
real quick, who is floating in the darkness, and you want to go find the bottom of this. You float to the bottom at this point because you have the fly spell cast upon you, and you're moving cautiously through the darkness, and it smells awful as you get closer there, but it also smells like a fermentation, you know, like where it's both a rotting and a growth. And you, as you float to the bottom, you're, let's have you roll a perception check. It is organic material all around you. You notice pieces of green here and there, these like carapaces, these armored bits like inside of mold, inside of stagnation. There are bits of pool and water, and this seems to be a grave of some sort. And you find Gluck and this Elder Kreen at one point as you're, kind of like floating over. You have Bessner with you, this soft, dim, like you can see dark vision out within 60 feet of you. And you find Gluck and this Elder Kreen unconscious inside of a bunch of these shells that they seem to have landed like a meteorite into the ground here. And I would love for you to also roll a wisdom saving throw.
Great.
Oh my god.
21.
Oh, thank god.
You just hear whispers all around you as you're down here. You can feel it, like you are made of arcane energy, and when you are down in this place, it is more than. It's clear to you that it is more than a grave. This is a holy place, where you know enough about Klik and the Kreen traditions here that this is a place of where literally bodies become one. And mold with the earth, and you can feel you're in a holy place here, but you still feel, you see Gluck, who seems to be unconscious, and this Elder Kreen, who seems to be unconscious, is falling and hitting the ground after a very, very, you know that you are 3,000 feet down, specifically. You are 3,000 feet down at this point.
What?
And so you're you can barely see the like, it's just a dot of light above you, and yeah, it's just this like mossy, moldy space and you just hear nothing but whispers as you're down here, just
I
as you're
assume,
moving through the space.
is Gluck dead?
You can do a medicine check if you want to.
Sure. Seems redundant, but why not? 20.
He's dead currently. Yes, it seems that maybe if you brought his body to a healer very quickly, he might be able to make it. But that is actually you don't have a cleric in you don't have a cleric in your party. This is unkind of me as a
I
GM.
know
I'm
the
sorry, I'm doing
Revivify
math.
spell,
Okay, well,
but I don't have any spell slots.
Bring him back.
And it would take more than a minute, probably, to fly 3,000 feet.
oh man, I'm gonna be incredibly unkind and say this is the scene where K.A.I waltzes into a situation he could have solved, and just realizes that you don't have the arcane ability, strength to bring Gluck back, and Gluck is dead.
Now what are we gonna do with all this Gluck merch? Andrew Ovredahl joke from the break.
So
I don't want to take too long down here.
no, you should
Because-
take too long down here. Yeah.
There's, well,
Yeah.
because
No,
there's a
don't
war
listen
happening.
to Harlan, Aaron.
But do I have any idea what kind of magical shit is going on down here?
You can roll an Arcana check. Absolutely.
That's exactly what I want to do. Okay. $26.
Sorry to crack my back before I do this. K.A.I knows enough about the arcane to know that the arcane magic of this world is something you are built of, you are made of, you can feel it humming through your body. But it's something that you are in a spell jamming ship. You go from planet to planet. You see undiscovered worlds. You see people who view and treat magic differently all around. And a thing you know is that magic is some sort of fickle but consistent power throughout the world. Some sort of ability that morphs itself to what people believe, what people want to do, and the power that they need. But it is still some sort of consistent power. That can be manipulated. You are a living example of that. You've never met anyone like you. The rules can be broken. And here, down here, you are familiar with Klik's communication to you about the psionics, the mental magic, the mental power of a living creature using the power of its thought to affect the world around you. And you can hear it, you can feel it. Like it's like a warm bath that is horrifying. Because you can hear all of the voices just outside of your reach that you can't connect with that are here. And this is some sort of where divine, arcane, and psionic meet. This is the cusp between all three of those things. Because all of the decaying bodies of, many Kreen that hold psionic abilities here, the remnant of them have created a force that is communicating things about the world here. It is both a grave and a wellspring of thought. And that's, I don't know what K.A.I is feeling or thinking right now, but it is overwhelming to the most powerful of this culture. So I assume it would be overwhelming to Kai to even brush up against it. So
It is overwhelming, but I think more overwhelming is the gravity of the situation and the weight of the failure to stop this kid from being dashed against the rocks. So this is what I'm going to do, and if it doesn't work, you can say that doesn't work. I'm going to reach out towards Gluck, and Kai is going to open himself up and extend out with his mind towards this wellspring and try to allow it to run through himself and his arcane consciousness enough to gather the magical strength to cast the Revivify spell.
wonderful. You can cast 3. I need you to roll 3 different skill checks, and I need you to tell me how each of these skills would affect what you are doing right now.
Okay.
And I will say, I just want to be upfront about this. No matter what happens, you are going to take a level of exhaustion that you cannot sleep off for 3 days. 3 days. You have to take 3 different rests to get rid of this level of exhaustion in order to do this. But if you're willing to do that,
I think Kai, I'm opening myself up to a lot of unknown to try to make this happen.
Sure. Yeah. So no matter what happens, you're going to take exhaustion that you cannot sleep off for 3 days. And if you roll, the DC is 15 across the board for all 3 of these checks, and I need you to tell me 3 different skill checks that you would use to push yourself beyond the limits of magic and the limits of what you can use here. And so I will let you kind of like take the reins here, but give us the flavor of 3 different checks that you would use to kind of be able to interact with these spirits to pull Gluck back, and you can do them and roll them.
I'm going to do 1 Arcana because that makes sense. That's probably the first check, and then I will use...
Well, hold on. So let's pause there. Before you keep going, let's roll the Arcana check. Okay. 15 or above, as you are just magically communing with all of these spirits and this feeling around you.
All right. That is a 7 plus 9, so that beats a 15.
Wonderful. Yeah, so you feel all of these voices start to, like, especially with your ability to speak with all these different languages, it just feels like a crowd of people talking to you as you're here. It's like, why are you here? What are you doing? You don't have, you are, there's the, you don't need to, you find, I tell you what, if you are going to, then you need to, and you feel like, you commune with it. You feel this noise in your head, and then what is the next skill that you would like to use?
I think for this next one, this might be cheesing it, but I'll counteract the cheese with the next one. Could I use my Tinker's tools to physically open up my magical, crazy body to try to facilitate this process?
Yeah, as long as you give us a little bit more flavor with that, because that sounds cool as fuck.
So, Kai reaches out with his mind and is able to sort of begin interfacing with this crazy arcane nexus. And
he's overclocking himself.
He's what?
He's overclocking himself.
I am the blockchain. The blue light that emits from within Kai sort of gives over and finds a medium between the color of his inner light and the strange colors of this place, and that shine. And then nodes and openings begin to open all over K.A.I.'s armor and allow the energies of this place into him and begin cycling it through him, and he glows brighter and brighter. And I will roll.
Have you rolled for this one yet?
No, I'm gonna do it right now.
All right, I will give you advantage on your next check if you take disadvantage on this one.
Oh.
All right, I will do that.
Wonderful.
5 plus 12.
Oh.
Your whole body is like, as your body is taken apart, you have undone yourself. You feel years of Kreen voices speak into you about the importance of this place, about the need for sentient creatures to realize that they are bigger than themselves, that it is not just one of them, it's not just a life lived, but they are all a piece of the network. And something clicks, because this is the same feeling of arcane energy, this web of magic throughout the world, this ability to manipulate the rules of this world. And you can't quite understand, there's no speech given to you, but you can feel it, like like a wise mother says something quick and short, but to the point to you. You feel just this assuredness that spirits here are trusting you, and they're allowing you in, and they are joining with you. You're having a good conversation with a stranger at a bar right now.
Sure.
And
vice versa, we're trusting each other.
In fact, you hear a voice say, "You are not a Kreen. Why are you here?"
Show him your cloaca.
I was trying to save a life, but I couldn't.
Lives are not important. They are.
Oh no, you're talking.
Oh, word. Sorry.
Oh, no. Fair for you to be hesitant. But, why do you want to save a life? K.A.I, we can feel your name. Why do you want to save this life?
Because people that I care about him. And because he didn't deserve to die here. And because I should have been able to stop it.
Seems like you already understand that doing anything worth doing is not about doing things for yourself. And you can roll this next check with advantage, and you can roll whatever you would like to. As you feel, as you are inside of this ashen kind of like graveyard of carapaces, this junkyard of shells of Kreen. And this voice is just speaking to you, and you can see the wisp, like the dust is gathering from the ground, like a just disturbed ocean bed up around you, and this wisp of a voice is saying this to you from that cloud. And any check that you would like to do, all you have to do is get a 15.
Well,
And you can roll with advantage.
I think K.A.I.'s body is sort of almost dispersed at this point, and you can see the mask of his face with light glowing through, and his hand pressed against Gluck's chest, and the rest of him is sort of scattered throughout the space, immaterial. And I guess I could try to roll something I'm good at, but I don't really have anything else that makes sense, so I'm going to say a hopefully this isn't stupid, but I'm going to roll insight, which is not good for me. But I have advantage, so maybe.
Yeah.
Because it just
as
feels
you try
like
to
it,
understand the spirit that
it
is
feels like I
speaking to
yes.
you.
I guess I'm trying to sort of complete the connection between myself and this wellspring on my end for myself.
I'll tell you what, before you roll, I'll lower the DC to 14.
I already rolled
specifically.
it, and it was a natural 20.
Oh! Wow.
Oh my
I
gosh.
swear.
Get out of here.
You see all of these carapaces of Kreen just kind of like rise up from the bottom of this mush that is the like dusty ground of the bottom of this pit. And it looks for a second like these monsters that you've seen before, but you can see how fragile they are. These dusty creatures, and they all seem to be lifting up Gluck. And as they do, the ash is just being siphoned into him. And you can see him kind of like move his shoulders here and there, and until they dissipate. All of these, these 6 Kreen around him that you can see like lifting him up and moving him up and putting him in his right position. You know, he's like his limp form is like a resistant toddler, but he is eventually like stood up and stands in place. And his head moves as the burst of dust from all of these decayed beings dissipates, and he looks at you, Kai, and says, "Did we win?"
Not yet.
Great. So with that beautiful scene that just happened, I'm gonna cut it there. And
Yay.
Next week
Ugh.
we're going to do.
God.
We are Andrew and Aaron. You're not showing up to next week's session. I'm sorry. Because next week, I need Jordan and Rachel to both make characters that are different from their current characters, as their consciousness has been absorbed by the clutch of souls.
Oh my god.
So I need you to both make level 5 characters that are not your characters. And you both can have any question that you want answered about this world, answered about this universe, anything that you want. You can metagame it out the ass. But you just both need to make characters who in one session can go through the experience that is answering the question that you ask about this world. So you all have to talk to each other, because whatever characters you want, whatever question you have about this universe can be answered. You all both can have separate questions. It doesn't need to align with each other. But we're going to run a session with just the 2 of you next week. And whatever questions you want answered can be answered, because at the end of next session, whatever happens to those characters, Klik and Moonboy are both going to know. So you are both going into a scene where you all are 2 adventurers, and you can have
I see.
whatever. Yeah. So
I understand.
I think that is.
Okay.
I think that is the end of my explanation for tonight. But if you have questions, we can do it. But next week it's just Rachel. It's just Jordan.
This is
And,
great. This feels very Blades
yeah.
in the Dark all of a sudden.
Yeah. Good. Good love, goodness, and inspiration.
Very cool.
Wow.
Sorry, I killed him.
This is incredible. You're bending time.
Exactly. This is the.
Harlan has ascended.
Yeah.
Harlan is
Okay.
outside of time.
So you have a week to ask what single
Good
question
God.
you want answered
Okay.
about this world, and to make a character around answering that
That
question.
can answer that question.
Wow.
That can answer that
Okay.
question, that can achieve the answer of that question.
I mean, don't put too much pressure on yourself. I
Yeah.
promise I will answer whatever it is.
I mean, I just have to think of a question now.
3 weeks have been so stressful.
Oh
in this
my
game.
god.
I know. With the gap, I was like, this is the worst because you're about
No,
to
it's
hit
great. It's
another.
good. This is
Yeah.
very
I
clever.
am so glad that you explained when you were like, you two need to make new characters. I was like, oh no.
No, they got
Yeah.
vaporized.
At level
instant-
5, you first of all,
instant
you go
death.
back 4 levels.
Most
This is incredible.
punishing
This is genius.
boss trinket
All right.
ever.
Let's
God, okay.
honestly, I gotta say, I would love to hear what y'all think out there in Twitch viewer land. Hit
Yeah,
up the
let's talk about
Discord.
questions
Get
in
in the
Discord.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about.
bring it to the
let's-
Discord.
I mean, we are within the clutch of souls. We can access the hive mind, right? To try to
Exactly.
Figure
That
this
is-
out.
Yeah, I mean, I truly think it's not metagaming to say this is the appeal. You feel this, like, both of your characters feel this surge where, like, there are thousands of lives inside, like, and all of the information of thousands and thousands of lives inside of this clutch. And so you get the information from, like, as you're, like, sorting through the matrix of this, you get to know a thing of life.
So cool.
And you just have to pick
Boy,
a
I'm glad I
character.
didn't
Is-
resist it.
Is this a
Or Ammonite,
question?
we don't know what maybe could have been better.
I know when you cast Bless on yourself, I was like, "Oh, are Rachel and I just gonna run this? We'll find out." Yeah.
Is it a question that's related to our current character? Like, is it a question that Klik wants to know, or is it a question that generally is a question about life?
I will say you have the ability to pick between those two things. You can either
Okay.
answer a question that Klik wants to know, but if you, Rachel, as a player, want this question answered, you also can answer that question with it. I will
Okay.
let you have that meta knowledge where it's like, because that's just like Klik kind of like randomly getting this, you know,
Yeah.
you touch the thing and you get this information about this thing. So, yeah. All right. I can't wait to see
Okay.
you. Have a week to make a character. I'll see you next week. For
Aaron,
two
you can
secrets
come over
that
to
you
my
have.
house, I guess. We'll get some pizza.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sounds good.
maybe you guys could come hang out and do silly voices for NPCs.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I promise that I will involve them.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
You two are
Okay.
on my team now. So.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Party.
Yeah.
I guess we'll
yeah,
see
that
you
was
guys
kind of
His
a,
pupils
that was kind
are
of a
all
silly
fucking
thing where like you aren't
perma-dilated.
benched. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
That was incredible, though.
Okay.
That was
Ah!
insane.
Guys,
You two
another huge
specifically.
thank you for Jason Wardell, who absolutely crushed it tonight. Some like really moody and tough stuff to do tunes for, and did
Yeah.
great.
And he just
And
got
as
his-
always,
He just got his booster too. He's like powering through this with his booster.
Hell yeah.
He's
oh,
a true,
the best.
He's better than a hero tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell he's the man of the future.
Our own R2D2, Jason Wardell.
Our 3D4.
And
Oh,
our
I mean, I feel like
RDJ2.
Keep going.
R2DJ2.
D20.
we kind of have two big things to announce that we're allowed to announce at this point, which we weren't for a second, but we can now. So number one is that our own Andrew Ovredahl is going to be on Dragon Talk, the official Wizards of the Coast podcast.
What?
Not this Wednesday,
So
but the
cool.
Wednesday after. Right? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
literally tell all of your friends about, like, this is the biggest thing we've had happen
Tell
to us
your
besides
friends.
our whole game.
We talk
that
about this
Andrew
show,
Overall-
you'll know exactly everything that we talk about.
Amazing.
And then the other is that in the next month or two, we're going to be releasing a podcast version of this arc. We're allowed to talk about it now.
Oh,
but
so
um,
excited.
yeah. So in the next month
It's-
or two, you're going to hear episode 1 of this arc, but in a much more condensed, produced fashion. and you can
Listen to
actually
us
share it
in
with
the
your friends.
car.
You really have to convince your friends to listen to our show now because it's very palatable. It's very for the people.
We have a third.
Put a
We have a
little
third
sauce
thing to
on it.
promote too. If you're
Please
in Denver,
sauce.
come see our live D&D show on
Oh,
December
shit.
3rd
Yeah.
Yeah.
at Rise Comedy.
Wait. Tell them more about it. Though. Tell 'em
The
more.
tickets, yeah, you can get tickets right now. Can we put the tickets in chat? But yeah, we're gonna do an improvised D&D game. Harlan and Aaron and I and our special guest Sam Talent. And yeah, we'll take audience suggestions to fill out the adventure. Harlan will run it, and the rest of us will just cruise through it. Should be a lot of fun.
It's called Dungeon Party.
Yeah, it's called Dungeon Party. I'm truly nervous about fully improvising a dungeon. It's gonna be great. So.
Oh, you're gonna be great. You kidding? Come on.
Cool. Well, that's it, everybody. Anybody else have anything you want to talk about?
Tell your friends. See you next
Thanks.
week.
Yeah.
All right, a lot on the horizon. We'll see you soon. Have a good holiday.
We love you.
Why am I saying that? We'll be back before the holiday. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.